bringing good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Live with Joan. Wait for people to come on. Yeah. Okay. Leslie Williams is watching.
I'm not getting any. Okay, there we go. Maureen Bissonette says good morning.
Good morning. It was your birthday the other day. Happy birthday, Maureen. Cheers.
A lot of Capricorns.
I know.
Julie Webb says good morning.
Good morning.
Chris Wilson says good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, I'm looking. There's Leslie Williams. Hi. Sharon O'Hearn says good morning, Joan.
Okay. Anyone else?
Claire Trost says good morning from Scotland. Tanya Hoffe says good morning, good afternoon. Yes,
good afternoon.
For those of us on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Marie Christine, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Charlie K. Tail says hi there, hi here, yay here. Sorry, hi there, yay. I couldn't get it. Yay here. Jane Sewell says hi everyone. Khaki Decker says hi.
Hi Jane. Hi Khaki. All right. Well, I'm glad everyone is showing up. Good afternoon from Florida. Good morning,
from the Netherlands,
Cheryl.
Ellen says hello from the Netherlands. Good evening from the Netherlands. Cheryl Cook says good morning, everyone. Barbara Van Voos says good afternoon. Hello, Barbara.
Hello. Henry is piping in the background. If you hear
him.
Yeah, if you hear a cat, that's Henry. He has to come in and talk a lot. I think it's. Anybody else have a black cat that has to talk a lot? Just type in the comments.
Michelle Nagata, welcome. She says hello.
Hello.
Maya Merther says hi. Hello. Seeing some, I may be wrong, but I'm seeing some names here that I haven't seen before, so that makes me happy.
Yeah, me too. I'm always happy to see new faces.
Shannon says, yes, Magic talks a lot. That's her black cat.
Yeah.
For those who don't know.
I think black cats just have to chat.
Nash Razo says hello from Mexico.
Hello.
Hola.
Hola. Okay. So if you're new to me, my name is Joan Ranquet. I'm an animal communicator, author, TEDx speaker, and founder of Communication with All Life University. And Communication with All Life University offers beginning through advanced or certifications in animal communication, energy healing, and nature and wildlife. So we have all kinds of courses. Of course, if you're interested in any of those and are new to us, then you should reach out to Shannon at info@joanranquet.com. She is our animal empath journey coach, or also known as goddess of the school. So she helps people figure out their path, and she's very good at it. So there are ways that you can join all sorts of things, and we have a lot of fun things coming up. We have Animal Communication Level 1 starting on February 2nd, and that's a 12-week course with live calls. And then we have, at the last weekend of February, we have the little, excuse me, let me down some coffee. I'm kidding, just some water. We have the Death, Dying, and Beyond retreat, and also Lost Animals. And then the first 9 days of April, we have the spring intensive, and it's not too soon to start thinking about the spring intensive. I know a lot of people in the big program have already started booking flights, so if you are interested in coming, you should, and you're not in the program or in any sort of class, I would reach out to Shannon immediately at info@joanranquet.com. And if you think you want to come live, like, I'm wondering, Cheryl, if you've reached out to Assist to let them know that you're planning to be here live, because we're going to have limited spots due to COVID. I mean, hopefully. Anyway, don't get me started on what I'd like the world to look like in a minute, but we can really start to think about getting here in April. And of course, the online version is just as fun. Okay, so Claudia, anyone else commenting?
Yeah, hold on. Okay, hello from there. Okay, Heidi Edits from Carnation, Washington.
Hi, Heidi.
Susie Morrow Reed is here. Hi, Susie.
Hi, Susie.
Jane Wu.
Hi, Jane.
Susie says, Shannon Myers, chilly, isn't it? It is chilly in Florida. I actually have my little portable heater on under my desk. It's cold. Don't laugh, people in the Midwest and Pacific Northwest. Debbie O'Hara says, hi from Scotland. I managed to connect, but I'm a bit late. You're never too late.
Never too late.
Shannon wants everybody to know that all things enrollment and finding your path, just email her. She says we have a few spots left for AC Level 1 live 12-week class in February, so you can email her at info@joanranquet.com. Cheryl Cook, she says that she has not, but she will.
Okay.
Contact Assist.
Good.
Janet Barnhouse, love that last name, says hello from Janet in Kentucky.
Hello.
Kristen Hedberg says hi, Joan.
Hi,
everyone.
Kristen.
Snowy here in Virginia.
Wow.
I'll shut up about the cold here. And Dee Rush says hi from Seattle area.
Hello. Hi, Dee Dee. All right. So we are in a series now, if you will, a series called How to Help Animals. And in this series, we are looking at all ways that we can help animals when we think about animals that have been, well, first and foremost, we have animals that are in shelters. And I always say that there's, a genocide on shelter animals because we return animals so quickly. And some of them don't have a chance. And some of them, it's for the most ridiculous reasons. It's, horrifying to me to think that we're such a throwaway society. But this group here is not. And some of us also have those moments where we couldn't keep an animal. So there's never a blame, but there's also always a better solution than, just what a lot of people have done. We also have, I'm having a cuteness attack here. Hold on. I was going to show you. Penelope was rolling upside down. So, anyway.
She loves to steal the show.
Yeah, she's trying to steal it over there too now. And we're looking at how to help animals with factory farming. And today, we were supposed to have a very special guest, but there was a mix-up, and he will be on February 8th. And that is our guest, Andrew Harvey. So he will be on February 8th, and I'm sorry that it got moved, but it was quite a mix-up, and he had to reschedule for the 8th. So we still have some amazing guests coming up, and you're stuck with me today. We have Sarah McCrum next week. We have Sophie Gamon the following week, which is, I think, that February 1st. Then we have we'll have Andrew Harvey, and then we'll have Ellie Lax of the Gentle Barn, and then we'll have we'll have Ellie, and then we're probably going to have a celebrity dog trainer. We have then a whole we have Linda Tucker of the White Lions. We have so many amazing guests. So it's just going to be absolutely amazing, this series. And last week we did a lot of deep work around what a lot of our fears, what a lot of our what if I can't do this, and so can everyone see Penelope there? She's way cuter.
Oh my God, yes, we could see her perfectly. I love her. She's huge.
I know. There. Now we can both. Oh boy, she's gonna fly off in a minute. Anyway, so the work that we're doing around it is basically preparing. And the first couple of guests are really going to be for us preparing, and then we're going to be in the thick of it with various types of guests. So when I say we're preparing, it's looking at how well are we ready to jump in and do this work. Some of us have fears about I'm too sensitive to go into shelters. Some of us have fears around different experiences. Some of us have limiting money beliefs. I would love to hear how many people have, like, I'd love to donate more money, but I don't have enough, or I'd love to start a rescue because I don't have enough. I'd love to hear some of the limiting beliefs. And what are you seeing in the chat?
Okay, so while people answer, Deborah Thunderchild says, Deborah from Massachusetts is here, and so grateful to be with all of you. Hi, Deborah.
Hi, Deborah.
Or Deborah. I don't know. Sometimes the way it's spelled, you can't tell. I'm assuming it's Deborah. Maury Manning says, hi all. Maury from Florida. Hi,
Good
Maury.
morning.
Tanya says, no worries, more time to read his book.
Oh.
Or more books.
Someone else I know said the same thing this morning.
Whose initials are?
Whose initials are Claudia.
Tanya, we're on the same page. Shannon Meyer says, we love you.
Thank you.
So I'm waiting for people to post about their limiting beliefs. Around money. Yeah,
Around
last
money.
Week,
Oh my God. So wacky here. There. But then you can't. Can you see me and the dog? That's all I care about. That's all I care about. Is that they see you.
Her eyes. Okay, Deborah Thunderchild says, I might fail at this. That is my fear. I want to help so deeply.
Mm-hmm.
Tanya says twinsies. Michelle Nagata says, I feel like maintaining healthy boundaries is almost impossible when I volunteered in rescue.
Oh, I'd love to hear more about that. Because that is something we're going to really unwrap in the next few weeks. Please.
Yeah. Susie Morrow says, sweet face, love her. Oh, Susie. If you meet her. Oh. She's ridiculous.
Yeah, she's a flying puppet.
Yeah.
Muppet.
Yeah.
Flying Muppet.
Yeah, she's flying Muppet.
Yeah,
she throws her body at
she'll
you.
come, if you walk into the room, she'll just throw herself at you. Hi! We won't tell that celebrity trainer about my dogs.
Or mine. Shelly says, hello from Shelly to you.
Hello.
Limiting beliefs. Oh my God. Money. Effing money.
Okay. It's a good topic.
Shelly, don't miss next week.
Yeah, don't miss next week.
And Joan, do you want to share next week's book?
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to get a leg up in horse terms, on who our guest is next week, it's Sarah McCrum, and her book is Love Money, Money Loves You. Mine might be in the other room.
Okay. Joyce Lee Leggett says, hi all.
Hello. So I want to hear more of the limiting beliefs around the money that you could use to help, money that you could use to, yeah.
Well, people are answering. I've been working on that a lot the last couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Shannon says, amazing book, love Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm feeling like...
Okay, the comments are taking a minute for some reason. Here we go. Not enough money to care for animals. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I definitely, yeah. Okay, so I would love to hear also about boundaries. What are some people's feelings about boundaries with working with rescue? Who was it that said that a few minutes ago? That was so...
Michelle Nagata.
Yeah, Michelle, if you could answer some more about that. And, I always say that a lot of rescues, it's well-intended people that get into an emotional situation that then don't have the capacity or the skill set to take it to where it needs to go, which is the emotion needs to be managed. So then the boundaries get out of the way. And part of that is we feel terrible for the animals in the situation. And part of it is, we feel very helpless. And then the other huge piece of it, and this is why I love the guest we're going to have on the first, Sophie Gamond, is the selling of this has been then from the pathetic. You can almost picture the animal behind the cage and cue the Sarah McLachlan music, and right.
I can't even watch those.
No, and that's but in a funny way, that's what hooks people to get their money. And I just always have wondered, would there be more money if they were happy pictures? Like, oh my God, look at this guy. He's got to find a home tonight. So that's always been my question. And I don't know. I mean, I think that for whatever reason, we like epically tragic situations, and we feel like we can't, it's out of control, and so here's what I can do. I can write a check for this. So, I mean, I think it's like dissecting the whole thing so that we can really empower these animals to be placed in the perfect right home, that it isn't a feeling of feeling sorry for them, and that the money comes from joy.
So, if you're ready, I've got some comments.
Yeah, please.
Michelle Nagata, she says, I feel like, to follow up on her comment about boundaries, I feel like some rescues get overwhelmed and overwhelm their volunteers, and it gets messy, and it feels like no one else is around to help at times.
Yeah, I think that's a number one thing. And again, it's so funny because Shannon and I did a lot of work with rescues down in Florida, and I used to look at it all the time. It's like these people that left corporate America, they would have had a fancy job at some point. They end up with what I call rescue hair, and they can't, they aren't that professional they once were. And it's almost like, God, if the one thing you could keep from the corporate America is that professionalism, I don't know that it would go that way, right? There's something to this. Like, if people kept all the things that kept them going from their old job, like, I feel really fortunate that my old life was as an, actor and a writer. So I do keep a lot of my old life with me every day. Like, I'm here in front of the camera and I'm going to write a book. But the truth is, there are a lot of things when we throw out something like corporate America, like, but what were all those qualities that would really help a rescue? So, Michelle, I think that's, and then of course, you feel overwhelmed and guilty and like, oh my God, okay, of course I'll do it. Everybody ends up with the martyr syndrome. And there's, it's a mess.
Yeah.
What else did people write in?
Okay, so Charlie Kale says, I have so many limiting beliefs around money that I'm trying very hard to conquer. That I won't make enough to survive, that I'm not good enough to truly help clients, that I won't be able to afford quality care for my own animals. It's like she's in my brain, Joan. Susie Reed says, helplessness is my dark spot. Mm-hmm. Debbie O'Hara says, boundaries can be tough when you form a real bond with an individual animal. It's the letting them go with love. Okay, it's the letting them go with love to a new family from the shelter, for example. Also trying to educate people who mean well but are actually not creating the best place in rescue.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. We have an initiative in the school that has been sitting there for 6 years, but we're really putting stuff together because, in the part of what we want people to do is to be able to go out and work in rescues, but also for that work to be valued and for them to be seen as an important contributor to how that animal gets adopted. And unfortunately, rescues have a blind spot for anything that costs money. So having the support that a lot of these rescues need to be able to create a situation where the animal is let go of with love is, it takes a lot. But I feel like there's a potential for restructuring this, and it's us that's going to create this. Walking in professionally, I've had students say to me, oh, I'm doing Reiki for this animal, at the shelter. I'm like, why? Why aren't you walking in and saying, I'd like to help, here's what I do? Like, for me, I think one of the steps that we can take to create boundaries is walk in through the front door. We talk about this a lot in the school, that if we walk in through the front door and respect and value what we do for a living, and create that professionalism as we walk through the door, how we walk through the door, having a solid resume, being able to show them something, I think it's really going to make a big difference in how animals get helped immediately. Because you can sit and fantasize that dog got adopted with the Reiki you did in the corner, but you don't know. Whereas the walking in and communicating, doing Reiki, doing things where everybody's seeing and it's visible is going to only contribute to everybody going, wow, this dog is getting a lot of attention. I bet he's going to get adopted. And then he gets adopted. So it's very important that you value your work enough that you are walking through the front door, right, Claudia?
Yeah. It's really important. Sometimes it's hard because of the fears that come up around it, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. And it's a boundary that you are setting up for yourself to be seen as a professional, but also what's the word I'm looking for? It builds your self-esteem, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
The more you do it, the more confident you get. The more confident you get, the better you. It just becomes a vicious cycle. So, walking through the front door is one of my favorite terms in the school.
Yeah, and we walk in through the front door because we're proud of what we do.
Exactly.
And we're good.
And that intention of that openness and professionalism and walking through the front door does translate to a better session with the animal.
Yeah.
I truly believe that.
Absolutely.
So, okay. Kristen Hedberg. Oh, first of all, we have a newcomer.
Mm-hmm.
And I lost Barbara Svensson.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Barbara.
Hello, Barbara. Welcome. Kristen Hedberg says, fear around pushing worry energy on animals and needing to stay in a high frequency in order to best help them. I love that.
Okay. Let's break this down. In a worry zone?
Yeah.
All right. So, Kristen, are you a worrier? I can just see her little face. I'm going to tell you something that I told Claudia. Can I give her an outfit?
My jacket?
Yeah.
Okay. She could give her a matching one.
She's going to get something else for the worry. Worry is going to be something else.
Okay, go ahead.
So, I experienced Claudia here for a couple of years solid, right? And, I mean, she worked for me, and, you know, every now and then she'd have a little look on her face, but she all of a sudden told me that, like, one day she said, "This is really triggering my anxiety." And I was thinking, God, she's so much fun, really? She has anxiety, and I'm not dumb. And I'm not unintuitive. But to me, I was like, "You have anxiety?" And you were like, "Oh yeah, big time." Claudia was like, "Yeah." Said something like that. I'm like, God, it just doesn't fit who you are anymore. And I said, imagine if you went to your closet and put on a jacket from like high school, like this velour turquoise jacket where the sleeves came like this. And she's like, "Oh yeah, and I can't even lift my arm to brush your horse." So what color were the buttons?
The buttons were fuchsia.
Fuchsia.
And, like they were like these bright colors, and I think they were like brassy. Like they were just not easy. Like very hard, tactile to put on and the holes for the buttons were too small.
The holes for the buttons were too small, so it's a struggle to put on. It was a struggle to wear a jacket of anxiety. And so when I ask all the time, who do we want to be in this, right? And so this outfit, this anxiety outfit, just does not fit Claudia anymore. And while it might have been cute at one point,
and yes, and it kept me a little protected. Yes,
kept her protected. It did a lot. You know, because, I mean, you're protected if you're wearing a turquoise velour outfit. So, what, I guess, so how has your anxiety been since then? And you've moved, you've done a lot. Who have you been in that? I mean, I know it's come up, but you're not who you were before I knew you.
No, it's kind of like I sometimes want to reach for the jacket, and then I'm like, you know what? I have something a lot more comfortable I can wear. So I feel it come up, I look at it, and I just, well, it doesn't suit me, it doesn't serve me, it doesn't fit me. And it might want to hang around for a little bit, but I've gotten a lot better at releasing it and knowing that it's not me and it's not mine anymore.
It's not her anymore. And so with the worry, I'm going to give you a tracksuit.
That has the words worry on the butt, like juicy.
Yeah, like not juicy, but worry on the butt. Yeah. And it's red. It's red. And it's a little tight. So, and I guess, how does the worry serve you, Kristen? And I don't mean to pick on you. I'd love anybody who worries. Maybe Charlie worries. Maybe. It's just a guess.
Kristen says, LOL, I'm cracking up when we started the story about my jacket.
Yeah. I mean, it's because I know every one of us, if we were in an emergency with our animals, we go to task and then we freak out later, right? Which is, you know, you can go do work and then process with your friends. I mean, certainly in the program, we have a lot of people to process with. Yeah, so I'd love to hear how that outfit is going, Kristen. And is anyone typing anything in?
Yeah, so Charlie Kale says, I love that. Just the attitude. So we're going to go back a little bit. She says, just the attitude of walking through the front door, head held high, helps preparing for a charitable or a paying client, whether in person or remote. Yes. Michelle Nagata says, would you say that you have to remind yourself of that a lot as doing the work?
Remind yourself of
what? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, and Michelle, I think I could guess boundaries, but if it's do I remind myself about boundaries a lot? I remind myself all the time. But let's see what it is you were referring to.
Because when you guys, just really clear, when you comment in reply to something Joan has asked, it takes a while on our end for it to load, so it doesn't match with what Joan is talking about at that moment. It's kind of like those really poorly dubbed movies where the dialogue starts way after the mouth is moving. So
yeah, and now my mouth is moving.
Yeah. So Susie says, I don't know Claudia before, but I love her now. Thank you, Susie. I love you too.
Susie might have a tracksuit.
I see her in fuchsia. Kristen Hedberg says, it doesn't serve me or them. True. Oh. Okay, Michelle means of taking off the anxiety outfit. Yeah, that is doing part of that definitely
it is
absolutely
doing the work. Because you know what? It's like, okay, I'm taking this off. This doesn't serve me anymore. This isn't me. This isn't who I want to be. How am I going to be who I want to be in this? And, it may be very much just, Claudia, it's been a long time because I really worked on all of this a hell of a long time ago that I almost forget the steps that I would take. But what for you, Claudia? What about you?
For me is it's I've worked on this for years. Actually, is kind of to become an observer of what comes up in me, and I guess it's mindful, like just watching it, right? Mm-hmm. Seeing what I used to get triggered a lot easier, and just immediately go into reaction. And I've been working really hard, and it's really hard for me to just sit and watch it and then ask myself, it's kind of like when we connect with an animal and we say, is this mine or is this the animal's?
Yeah.
I ask myself, what is this? Why is this coming up? What is historical about this, right? So it's like I start asking myself all these questions because I want to kind of pull it out from the roots instead of just, I look at it like gardening, right? A weed, you want to pull it from the roots instead of just cutting the top. So I just really work at that, and I've been doing a lot more of that lately.
And that
makes any sense.
And it brings up something really important. Like, is this mine? Which is something, of course, I ask all the time about emotions. And if we have a proclivity toward anxiety or worry, it often attracts more, right? So then it's like a magnet, and so. The minute you can get down to brass tacks and say, is this mine? And if it isn't even yours, then it goes away pretty quickly. Yeah.
And as empaths, it's like we're walking around with a periscope picking up on everybody else's emotions.
Yeah, for sure, all the time. And that's where, for me, something like the scalar wave is protective every morning. And it's my, I get caught off guard, though. There are things that catch me. I had an experience where I'm always very careful, and I realized that the first couple of days on an international trip, I'm vulnerable, and I hadn't realized that until I was in Borneo on a trip with someone that I knew had a trigenital, I can't even say it, nerve thing in her head, and would get terrible headaches, and all of a sudden I found myself on the boat. We're going up a river in a riverboat, and I suddenly have the worst headache in the world, and there's this girl, 2 people ahead of me, smiling away. I'm like, oh, awesome. Well, I didn't want to give it back to her, but I had to work really hard because I've never felt that kind of pain before, and I knew it wasn't mine. And so I just realized that I'm very vulnerable after a long, long flight. Like those 24-hour flights. Anyway. That's I find the places where I still have holes and I try to fix it, patch it up.
And it's just observing without judgment is really the key.
Yeah, it is observing without judgment. Okay, what have other people?
Okay, so Charlie Kale says, "Wah ha ha ha, you bet I worry. I just try to refocus on the present, safe, secure, prosperous, and hold the feeling of relief in my heart, gut, and every cell of my body, while wearing a plush turquoise jacket that fits." I love turquoise too.
Me too.
Shirley Barker says, "My tracksuit is orange. What was I thinking?"
Oh my God. That is so funny.
Tanya says, "My tracksuit has a fanny pack." Deborah Thunderchild says, "Perhaps my anxiety might serve me someday so that I may gain insight in how to help an animal with anxiety. How to be able to help an animal with anxiety."
Yeah, but I would say to you, you probably know anxiety better than that animal. And one of the things that everybody on the planet craves, we all absolutely, our number one thing that we need, that we all as all beings share, is a sense of safety, even if it's just for 1 minute. And so your anxiety has to be a thing of the past in order to really help an animal. It doesn't have to be entirely in the past, but it has to be something that you're working on daily so that you can create a safe zone for that animal. And that's, it just, and I guess, you know what, that was the number one thing. I had a situation in when I was married that was the most unsafe thing on the planet. I was a victim of a crime. And I've just worked really hard ever since to be safe in my own skin. And I can't explain it in any other way. That just, I had a deep understanding of what it was for animals, for humans. And, you know, at a certain point then my marriage wasn't safe. And I just was like, then the only thing I can do, and I will do, that I have control of, is creating safety for myself and my animals. And if you're in a mode of creating safety, it's like why I talk about the pH of the household. You can't be worried. You're busy being safe. You can't be anxious. You're busy being safe. And that's just, you can't do two things. We are not good at multitasking. We can talk on the phone and drive. But we can't be anxious and be safe.
And we can't be anxious and help someone with anxiety, help an animal with anxiety, because our anxiety blocks us from being able to be of service for that animal.
Yeah.
So that's how I use it now. Deborah. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, we've got more.
Okay.
Oh my God. Hold on.
Do we have some good tracksuits?
Yeah. Susie says, "I'm a blue jean baby queen. I wore scrubs before. Now it's jeans and animal smells." Yeah. That's my favorite uniform. The jeans and animal smells. Kristen Hedberg says, "I am seeing an amazing dance routine which features tracksuits being wildly thrown off."
Exactly. And you're the lead dancer.
Okay. Michelle Nagata says, "I like the anxiety suit idea. I feel like I've always used an inner child losing her shit that I have to keep in control, but the idea that it's something I can let go of feels lighter." Amen.
It is lighter, right? Like we can do, and there's certainly a place for inner child work, and I've done a ton of it. But I also feel like a lot of these feelings that we go to, like worry or anxiety, are old habits. You know, they're just old habits. They don't suit us anymore. It's just.
So, okay. Of course, Lorraine. Tracksuit, no way that implies exercise.
No.
No. Susie Reed says, "This is so wow to me." Kristen Hedberg says, "Creating muscle memory where thriving is the default." Amen.
Right.
Shannon says, "Sequins all day."
Oh my God. So I have the funniest story. There was, you don't know the story, do you, Claudia?
I don't know yet. So
no.
we'll start telling it.
So I was staying with Shannon, which in the old days I used to teach. I used to do practically the intensive at her house way back, 2008, 2009. I taught there all the time, 2010, 11. Anyway, for quite a while. And so one day, Shannon, I mean, this isn't funny. Shannon hurt herself, and so she was on the couch downstairs. And so she asked me to go up into her closet to get something. And I walked into the closet, and I've known Shannon. At that point, I had known her about 5 or 6 years, and we'd become very close. It was after my mother died. I still lived in Florida, and then I moved to Seattle, and we were and are very close. So I thought I pretty much knew everything about her, but I walk into this closet, and it's full of sequin jackets. And I'm like, I don't know Shannon at all. And so anyway, I realized I was in the wrong closet, and I found the thing that she needed, and I took it downstairs, and I was like, I was like put out. And the next thing you know, eventually I said to her, is there something you need to tell me about all your sequin jackets? And it turns out she had let a neighbor move all her clothes, and she was a nightclub singer, into that closet because her boyfriend had moved out. So anyway, so
Oh my God, you did tell me that story. I do remember.
so dumb. But you feel like you know someone until you walk into their closet and you see it's full of sequin jackets. Anyway.
Oh my God. Okay. Kristen Hedberg says, heck yeah, regarding the dance routine.
Mm-hmm.
Robin Leslie says, yes, old habits. Yes, old habits. I agree. Tanya says, regarding the dance routine, Tanya says, making that can be the end of the April intensive. Ooh.
Mm. I just spilled my coffee in the labyrinth. Yeah.
Yep. Shannon says, and I wear jeans, forced tour clothes, and muck boots on the daily.
And maybe a sequin outfit. I have a sequin hat.
Oh my God. So Charlie Kale says, oh geez. Okay, I'm sorry. This is funny. I just looked down at myself. I'm currently wearing a 40-year-old turquoise animal sweatshirt with the sleeves too short.
That's funny. That is funny.
Kristen Hedberg says, this is an amazing story. Sequin jacket.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris Wilson says she secretly cleaned her horse corrals in those jackets.
Exactly. That's Shannon. Who knew?
Okay.
All right. But I want to get...
Okay, hold on. We have Deborah responded. I hear you, Joan. I understand what you're saying about anxiety getting in the way. I don't know how to let go of it. PTSD is a big deal. I don't know how to get past it. That is my fear, that it will interfere with me helping the ones I love.
I had PTSD so bad after what happened that I could walk into the kitchen and I literally didn't know why I was in the kitchen. And at that point I had no use of one of my hands. I mean, I had it very bad, and I went to regular therapy. I went to energy healing. I did everything I could because I knew if I was going to serve, I mean, at this point I was already a professional animal communicator, and I had a lot of work. I'd been on Good Morning America. I was on the Today Show. Some of that, like, the crime was in the middle. I can assure you that it was not going to serve me to stay in that state. And so my only job for a while was moving through PTSD because I can't serve at my highest good. I mean, every day I try to move whatever I need to move to be able to serve at the highest level. That's the only thing that, and that may not be your value, but it's mine. So PTSD is definitely a huge thing. I'm happy to get someone in the program to help you, a partner, if you will. I've got lots of students that are doing EFT and they need case studies. I'd get you somebody very advanced and very compassionate, but I understand. My PTSD was so strong, I had never known what it was like to be sick, or, you know, had a lot of family members sick and dying. I had people around me had fibromyalgia, and I finally understood what that was because I had no resources, zero. I had nothing inside of me. I was a walking ghost. And so there's nothing, just for me, I'm going to fight like a little banshee out of that. And I, you know, at times had zero support around me and was expected to support my stepkids. So I had no choice but to fight like there's an M and an F to release the PTSD. And I encourage and invite you to really look at getting help for that ASAP, because nobody should live with PTSD.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Lorraine Bollinger says, such a valuable skill to put those negative thoughts and feelings aside, becoming neutral before working on someone. Yeah, and, you know, Deborah, I do want to say, I've learned a lot of, so I always say that I never thought that learning animal communication was going to lead to such personal growth.
Mm-hmm.
It has opened the doors for me, and that we've also learned techniques that help us deal with certain feelings that are coming up. So I just wanted to put that out there. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, this is a journey of getting help for yourself in a weird way, as much as we think it's about them. It's about all of us.
Tanya says, blown away as usual by listening to you. Thank you so much. Okay, Joan, yeah, we have 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
We need to, yeah.
We need to, that's what she usually does to me. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. When she used to sit behind the camera, she would do this. So, so we have some amazing guests coming up, and we were supposed to today, and then that got moved. And we will have amazing guests coming up. And so I think today was really valuable in terms of looking at our own stuff, continuing to look at our own stuff while we can, so we can be the best we can be and really take in this information. Looking at our limiting beliefs, because the money of a limiting belief around money is just an example of where else, you know, money's just the agent, if you will, for where else you have the limiting beliefs. And I like to look at almost the impossible and seeing it as possible. And Claudia knows that I do that a lot.
Yeah. I've seen Joan manifest things into happening that I would like to say the word like, I don't want to use the word normal because it's not that, but to other people who are not into that, like don't believe in that, would seem crazy. But I've seen you manifest what would be the impossible.
All right, here's something that is so minor but so huge. I had a pile of horse shit for 6 years. I've lived here 6 years. And it piled and piled and piled up. And I didn't know how I was going to move it, but I knew I had to move it. And so about 2 months ago, someone came and gave me a $4,000 estimate, We're waiting for it to dry out to hear from this other place. They're like, this possibility, this possibility, this possibility, this possibility, this possibility, this possibility. Suddenly, I see this kid driving around on something with a trailer, and at that particular day, my handyman was here, and I knew he knew every kid in the neighborhood, and I said, "That's what we need to move the horse poop. That and a tractor." He, handyman, comes back the next day with that kid and the other kid and says they have a tractor. 6 years of horse shit was moved in 4 hours yesterday. It's gone. Like that sort of like physical, it's so stupid seeming, but it's, and those pictures I showed you, Claudia, of like there's a new road cut through, that it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. And then where the trees are, that's another one.
Yeah, that's a crazy story. So
That's a crazy story.
All these trees that apparently in California you cannot cut down certain oaks because they are protected. And before the pandemic, I was out walking with Ellie and Jay, our friends from the Gentle Barn, and I said, I hadn't bought this place. I was looking at another place. I said, if I were to buy this place, I'd love to clear out some of this and have the horses down here. And he said, Jay, her husband, said, well, you can't because it's all protected. See that and that one? You can't cut those down. I was like, okay. Well, I didn't think it another thought. And I always joke that the fairies help me here. And the next thing you know, I go down, and the whole section where I would have wanted a clearing, termites had eaten the trees. And I wouldn't wish death upon the trees, but now it's dangerous for the trees that are alive for the termites to be there. So we had to clear it. So I've had the physical, I always feel like those little things, and those are little, are reminders of, in physical form, of what manifesting is like. Because that both seemed impossible. I didn't know how I was going to move all that horse shit out of here. I didn't know how I was going to move. What was I going to do with those trees? I mean, I couldn't. I was just going to have to make trees happy.
But my favorite part is that you would always visualize that area where those trees were as the paddock paradise.
Yeah, I just wanted a paddock paradise where the horses could walk around. Now I have more than a paddock paradise. I've got a paddock, and it's paradise. All right.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Okay. All right, everybody.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really grateful you were here. We're going to really jump in and do amazing work with all the great guests we have. And really, if you guys have things like anxiety, worry, PTSD, please write to sessions@joanranquet.com, and we will hook you up with students that need, we have students that need to complete animal communication case studies, students that need to complete EFT case studies, and students that need to complete scalar wave case studies. So please, by all means, reach out to us at sessions@joanranquet.com and get the help you need to roll up your sleeves. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.